to go.
Well,
Good.
we're gonna have to cut the greetings short because the game one is already up,
we're
and
ready to go.
I'm still trying to get things programmed in here, but they are not waiting. So we have a good matchup for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of players that we both know.
That's right.
This is going to be Giovanni, who you've seen on the stream before, and Baldeep as well, who you've seen on the stream before. So let's just cut right to it.
I think I could be wrong. So Geo is on this side.
It is. How do I have this backwards? I think I know how to fix this, though.
All right, so it looks like the ECL, the Fleet Lieutenant in to get, quick damage.
This actually irritates me, but I think... Okay. Well, the player names are correct, but the board is reversed.
Yes.
Okay, I can fix that. You'll have to give me just a minute. And I'm not positive, but I don't know why we're not hearing these guys. We should be hearing them.
Ready?
Well, I'll figure this out in a minute. But for now, obviously, we're gonna. Sorry, guys, we're cutting this a little close, and I've got a little bit of tech work to do in the background. So, Cooper, I'm gonna let you try to call this while I fix this.
I'll catch up, no problem.
And then give me just a moment.
Very interesting start. Both Han Blue and Sabine Green, ECL, they both started with a Sabine Wren. Then Geo started the second turn by using the ECL on a Fleet Lieutenant to go 5 to base, as well as trade with the Sabine Wren that Baldeep put into play. After that, Baldeep put a Village Protector. Geo claimed. We went to next turn. Sabine pinged the shield off, went to base, and then he flipped his Sabine, put a Dark Saber on it, and his board is looking oppressive right now. Baldeep does have a shielded unit in play. Well, we're going to see what he does. He immediately starts with a Disabling Fang Fighter to get rid of one of the biggest threats in the game, the Dark Saber. So now it's up to Geo to see. Having the Sabine is really, really potent here to ping the shield off and go, or he could go to base. And already, as you can see, perfect. Now
now we've got it right. Yep. And then I'm going to make a small adjustment here to get it kind of centered up.
And as you can see, that the Han player already has 10 life left. 9 life left. So
wow.
The gap is closing very quickly here.
Destroyer Sabine there.
Yeah, and now he's going to use his shielded
there
unit to try to clear up the board a little bit. Sabine still being in play. To be honest with you, it puts him in lethal range. And
he's only managed 1 damage on Geo's base.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's at least catch the base health up. That's I've got him. Oh man, I've got the.
It's game.
Baldeep
wow. Scoop went to game 2. Having only 6 life left
somehow
on your base and 1 on Sabine, with Sabine still in play.
The good news is that I somehow managed to get the camera positions completely wrong, and I don't know how I pulled this off. But we'll figure this out in a little bit. For now, let's just move on while these guys do their sideboard thing. And that did not work. Why did that not work? What the hell? Oh, I'm still in studio mode. There we go. Okay, clearly I'm behind the ball, guys. I apologize. But yes, Giovanni is definitely crushing it right now.
As Sabine came out of the gates blasting, and before you know it, it's 5 resources and you're going to game 2.
Okay. Let's finish fixing the overlays correctly, and then hopefully by game 2 I'll have this stuff figured out. Well, look, sometimes, I wasn't able to get as much setup done yesterday as I would have liked. Some of that's on me. And then it's just a matter of trying to get the rest of this stuff done on the go. I appreciate
Everything looks good as is. We're just you're shortening up those edges, make them all smooth.
Gio's from San Antonio with you guys, right?
Who?
Gio. He's a San Antonio guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gio is a team member in San Antonio.
That's what I thought. He was telling me that it was you guys had worked on that Yoda deck that he played in Denver kind of as a group, it was like a team effort, yes?
Yeah, it started off in set 3 for me. I was tooling with Yoda. I built a Yoda combo deck, and then it wasn't where it needed to be for me. So it went away, and then when set 4 came out, I seen cards that kind of shored up the holes that I was looking for, and I actually found the true combo. And then that's when I decided that I wanted to pull other people in. Gio is he is my playtest partner. He's one of the best playtest partners I've ever had.
Yeah.
So it was really great pulling him in, and he took it on as his own, and he made some suggestions, made some changes, and then we built it from there. The beautiful thing about that Yoda deck in that field is that it's built to beat Django, and it effectively did it. You got to see Geo beat Django on stream 2 different ways.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun. I love this game. This game's a lot of fun. There's a lot of innovation and deck expression that is definitely available I just find that it's the peak to get to that point. You have to understand the layers of the game so you can kind of like counter various things, not just the cards, but also the play styles, and put your opponent into precarious positions.
Okay. All right, well, these guys are just about ready here.
I'm going to assume Baldeep took initiative. Yes, he did.
Looks like it. We'll get that swept. Okay, now I think I am finally in a better position to actually do what I'm supposed to be doing here with cards and everything else. So I apologize for the confusion. We obviously don't have the round timer up either. I'm not sure when that started, guys. So for now, we'll just play without it. But these guys are not going to go to time.
Not gonna go to
this
time.
will not be time. Will not be a factor in this match, ladies and gentlemen.
Game
for
one
sure.
was less than 15 minutes. After.
That was less than 5 minutes. It felt like
with shuffling, sideboarding, shuffling, and starting, less than 15 minutes.
Less than 15 minutes has gone by. Yeah, we're
crazy.
barely. Yeah. Chad asking if we have a backup match like laying around. It's like, well, no, unfortunately, we don't.
We'll use this match just to fix the technical difficulties
there we go.
have to make sure that round 2 we could go up and running and fire and all cylinders.
Yes, we'll get that. If I have to go out there and make some changes, we'll make some changes. But I think I can figure it out. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out, right? Gio, back in February, was a top 8 competitor in this event here in Austin.
Yes.
So he's no stranger, and he made day 2 in Denver at the sector qualifier. No stranger to competitive. Baldy, one of my local players down in Houston, and it looks like he's coming in with a Phantom Deuce there.
Yep. Start off with that 5 attack, right?
He has been kind of working on a lot of different, getting better. Like he's a fairly new player, new to the game at least, and has been working really hard. He hit this Han 2 deck a while ago, about 2-3 weeks ago. I played it a little bit a couple of Tuesdays ago against him, and then we did have a Sabine ping there, and then he took it to top 4 last weekend at the Houston PQ.
Impressive.
So he's made a lot of progress in a very short amount of time.
This is one of Gio's favorite cards.
Look
right
at
here.
the spice. I've not seen Sabine play this thing, but I love it.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it might be in his board. I know he main decks 1. I think he boards 1 or 2. But literally for this exact situation, like if you ask him, he's going to say, a lot of other decks in the format right now, when they see Sabine, they're going to try to outrace you.
Yes.
And they have grit in the sky, as you've seen, or they have a pilot.
Yeah.
That eliminates it. Turn 2, you can't pilot it, eliminate the thing, and slow down your opponent's tempo, and then Sabine gets the ball rolling.
Well, and it's also a great card into the Vader matchup, which is a really challenging one for Sabine. I've seen some of the games that we've cast.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Being able to take out Victor 2.
Yeah.
In one shot, and then obviously even if they played Victor 2, they have 3 in play, and you kill Victor 2, you're saving 3 life that turn. So, but what's going on now is that Gio is here trying to go wide against the Han player, which is a very good strategy.
Which makes sense, right? Han's focus generally is I'm going to play one large unit a turn ahead of curve, which gives him the opportunity to do some really cool things.
And one of the things about this specific scenario is in playtesting is that naturally, immediately you think, oh, Darksaber is always the answer. But Gio ad nauseum drilled this, and for the 4 resources, he's convinced that dropping 2 2s is the way to go. It's like, hey, I'm just going to go extra wide, and then if I have Darksaber, I'll use it next turn because I'll have more targets.
Truth be told, I don't think he's wrong.
I agree.
And it's Sabine going wide is a very
there it is. That was beautiful.
I missed it.
So as soon as the Darksaber came out, he had a confiscation in hand and popped it.
Oh, okay. So he was ready. Baldeep was ready for it, basically.
He's ready. So one of the things I want to point out is like confiscation is like the boogeyman in every set now. If we have upgrades, we have pilots. So this is the first time I actually got to see it being played in tournament.
Well, we saw a lot of it last weekend. We're going to see more of it going forward for sure.
Yeah.
There's so many good upgrades, lightsabers, and so on in the next set. It's 100% going to be a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And every set
is that another Phantom in the ground there?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yeah, when Han's in play, you don't even have to exhaust them to use the ability. So put the Phantom 2 in play, get that grit going, and put Sabine on a clock. This game is a Baldeep. Clearly, they're past where they were last game.
Yeah, we've already survived longer. Baldeep already survived longer than he did in game 1.
Baldeep is in a better position, and with only 9 damage on the base, he's done a good job of.
I need to make a couple of updates. There we go.
He's done a really good job of clogging the lanes.
That's the thing with Sabine, right? Is if you're able to control, like Gio's talking about wanting to go wide, right? So we're gonna ECL out Wrecker here. If you're able to go wide with Sabine, it almost forces your opponent to deal with your units somehow. You've got to do something.
Absolutely. Well, Sabine is like basically the question, right? Can you answer me?
Right.
And if the answer is no, then you just lose. She's the premier aggro deck for a reason, and this is a fascinating evolution of Sabine, is that she's turned into a way kind of a mid-range deck. Gets that extra reach, being able to close out games, obviously, with Poe and Wrecker, like some of the most oppressive red heroism units in the game.
Yeah.
But then also you get other tools that are really interesting, and I don't want to ruin it in case anything comes out.
No, that's good.
But I'll if not, I will also talk. I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll see another Sabine game. I'll talk other strategies.
For sure.
So right now it's interesting. He's not quite in the kill zone for Geo. Baldeep isn't quite in the kill zone for Sabine. But he's trying to get there. You get possibly a Cassian from the row. Baldeep's hand also. I'm curious to see what cards are in it because you never know what's going to come out with Han.
The Han's got so many options in this matchup, but right now it's the Phantom Deuce in the space arena that's doing the lion's share of the work here. Geo down to 6 HP remaining here in game 2.
Yeah, the clock that Phantom 2 puts on is real.
Geo's got to have an answer for it, and until he does, Baldeep's just going to keep shoving it in his face.
Yeah, and the game with the Phantom 2.
Now, it's a good question, chat, pointing out when Wrecker ambushed into Han, was it earlier?
Yes, the Han leader.
We're trying to figure out why he took 4 damage, because in the perilous position cleaned him out. I think they might have missed that. I think Geo took too much damage on his Wrecker when he played that.
That is very possible. I can't see chat.
That's okay.
Okay, so that was very possible. I didn't see the turn prior to see if Wrecker ECL'd, so yeah.
Wrecker ECL'd, he should have taken 3 back, and then Baldeep cleared him with a perilous position. Another one coming out of the hand there.
Yeah. That is a problem. Curious to see if we should. I mean, at this point, it's 2 turns
I
away.
think at this point we've missed it,
Yeah, we missed the window for sure.
and both players have missed it. So I don't know we can fix it at this stage. That was a heroic sack on Sabine unit. So we're down to 9 HP remaining here for Baldeep.
And this looks like, to me, this is the last turn of the game, no matter what.
We're getting close one way or another. The Yoda might buy Baldeep some time. It's going to depend on what Geo comes up with. His board is not completely empty, but Cassian is not particularly useful.
Useful right now.
Yeah.
If he has another one of those, 4-1 ambushers, that might help.
Well, it would certainly help him clear the space lane. Geo does take initiative in the previous turn, coming in on the button here, coming into this round.
This matchup is so interesting in the fact that it could end in a very interesting way. You know what I mean? If have a pump being able to do two things at once, that's just how tight it is.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked about going wide with Sabine. That's another good reason for it. The possibility of a Rebel Assault, right? Keeping
Yes,
multiple
absolutely.
units on the board
Absolutely.
keeps that Rebel Assault alive.
And
Geo's going to come in with a timely intervention here.
And it messes with the math, which is a big deal. So the math of like just the +1 from Rebel Assault. Right now he's ECLing, not ECLing,
So
timely intervention.
Timelying a Poe.
Discarding the Fleet Lieutenant to deal
get
the damage
okay.
to get rid of
Okay.
that. So he's going to swap 2.
Yep.
And so this is what I mean by this deck has a very interesting mid-range, right?
Yeah.
Like he just played Poe with Timely, and he's clearing 2 things, and he's putting a giant threat on the board.
Yep.
That puts Baldeep on a 1-turn clock.
Yep. Baldeep's now got to come up with an answer here very quickly.
Yeah, pinging in a Poe attack wins
Now
the game.
he's got a Poe of his own, a Fang Fighter, and a
the
Kanan
Kanan.
in there. I love how I'm leaning forward like it's going to matter.
Old school video games.
Old school video games.
Yeah, turning
exactly.
the wheel.
Exactly. If I see when I click the joystick over, if I lean, I
If I
turn
lean,
harder.
I turn faster.
Exactly.
Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
Pro hacks. Pro hacks.
All right. Baldeep counting his resources here.
Looks like he's going to play the Poe.
Looks like we're going to get the Poe.
So now
he spent 5. He spent 6. I guess he just hard cast it.
Yeah, he did not use the ability. So
Yeah. Okay.
The ball goes back into Geo's court. So now this is like, again, this just thing with the pump. Rebel Assault doesn't work with Poe. Poe's not a Rebel, so that's not the answer. But
oh, I just realized he also discarded another card to clear the perilous position. He used Poe's text twice. So Geo's hand is empty at the moment. Going to come in with just a simple Fang Fighter in the air.
If the irony here is Poe can kill Poe and the Fang Fighter.
He can,
In one
actually.
attack.
If Geo doesn't draw anything worthwhile, he can just clean Baldeep's board again if he wants. I'm not sure I would have played the Fang Fighter in that position. I understand the thought process behind Baldeep trying to keep units on the board, but knowing that Poe's out there doesn't get you much.
Remember that the Fang Fighter basically threatens lethal.
Well, the other thing,
very close.
true, but Geo's also got it as well. Like if Geo goes straight to base here,
But if he doesn't play the Fang Fighter, right? Instead, Poe can trade with Poe and then deal 2 damage.
which
to
he pretty
base.
much has. He pretty much has
So now
to.
this forces his hand to
Yeah.
do this, and at
Yeah.
least it sets Baldeep up to be able to. We can see his hand, but to play
Yeah.
Either a follow-up unit or
Now,
removal.
what's interesting about Baldeep's hand is he's got 2 of the wrong cards. He's got a Fel the Dragon
Yes,
and an Open Fire.
and
Neither of which
Cassian is
not
dodging left and right.
Cassian's just like, I care nothing about these
Cassian's
things.
like, for the rebellion.
Exactly.
And then here comes the Darksaber.
Ooh, that's going to be lethal. Well,
That
no,
is-
not quite, but
Fel the
very, very
Dragon?
close. Now
Does he have enough for Fel?
he does still have just enough for the
there
Fel.
it is. There
Goodness
it is.
gracious. The Darksaber allows him to clear the board with the Fel the Dragon.
And now that 3 damage from Cassian's going to put him at 1.
Yep. Put him very close. Geo was very aggressively pinging early in the game, and I kind of wondered. I didn't say it at the time, but I kind of wondered. I always wonder with Sabine players if that's going to come back to bite you. And it feels like maybe it has here a little bit with Geo.
So I want to point out something that just occurred where Geo played a Daring Raid.
Put a Daring Raid,
base.
yeah.
So what Geo's doing is he's playing to his outs. He knows that by doing that, he could then set up a window next turn.
Yep.
But by not doing that, he doesn't have
have
a
it.
chance.
Yeah, he doesn't
so
have it.
As you can see, we're going to go to game 3.
Yep. All right. On to game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
It's always nice to see when Geo's on stream. Him and his opponent are always laughing.
Oh.
I got to give him a lot of credit
It
for
is.
that.
I noticed this when I had it. The only time I had him on camera, I think last time, was he got to the top 8, and he ended up going into that matchup in the top 8 with like a game loss because of a deck list error or something like this. So he started the top 8 best of 3 down a game.
Yes.
And he and Michael sat down and played, and I think the whole thing was over in like 8 minutes.
Yeah, it was the entirety.
The entirety, like, and I felt kind of bad for him.
Sure.
But he was just. He wasn't really
jovial.
fun. Like a lot of people, I think I would probably have been really ticked
Yeah.
off at myself. Not anybody else. It's my
I
fault.
will say
right?
Geo was upset with himself
Sure.
for sure, but I know that Geo cares about other people's experience.
He didn't let it affect the
And
game.
I want to use this as a time to say, like, that's what good sportsmanship is.
Yeah.
So he knew his own error. He didn't want to take it out on the judges or his opponent. So he made sure that they shook their hand, said, hey,
Yeah.
good game. And then his opponent also was extremely supportive. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't think you should get a game loss. Like,
Right.
He advocated for him. So it was very
Yeah.
positive vibes between them.
Yeah. When Gio explained that situation to me, and I kind of caught up to it right as we were going on the air to do that top 8 match. I was really surprised. I was like, "Whoa, you got a game loss for that!"
Yeah, yeah.
And it was something like he had the card. It was like a sideboard card.
Yes.
And then when they went to deck his check, it was still in his sideboard or not in his deck or something like this. So
Yeah,
it was like it had
it
gotten
wasn't
missorted.
clearly
Yeah,
separated.
it got missorted into the wrong pile or something. And I was like, God, that feels kind of weak when you're not actually like you're just handing somebody to check it. The
Yes.
cards are all correct. They're just not in the right piles.
I will say
felt
a
odd.
more grievous infraction earlier that day was someone else from San Antonio. I won't say their names, but
Hmm.
they got DQ'd. Their deck was their list was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say it was before we started, so I was actually surprised they didn't give him a chance because the first round didn't start to fix it.
Yeah.
But that was a feel bad.
All right. Well, we're into the game here. Got a Battlefield Marine, and then one of Baldeep's probably preferred opening plays here
Absolutely.
is that Outer Rim Outlaws.
And this is not Gio's preferred play. He would have loved to
Nope.
play Sabine.
Yep. Sabine into this particular situation would be really good. He could ditch the shield and just trade with the Outlaws if he wanted to.
Sabine against Han 2 is just the bright play, like in all situations, ironically.
Instead, we're going to go Fleet Lieutenant and go straight for the throat.
Yeah, Gio
Which I love.
identifies, hey, this guy's going to get board position on me.
Yep.
So let me
So let's put some pressure on him.
let me make his choices for him.
Sabine comes in and ties things up.
Yep.
24 all.
There comes
As
that phantom pressure.
that card was an all-star in game 2 here for
Yeah.
Baldeep, and I think it is going to be again here.
I think this is the 4th version we've seen of this card. He played 1 in game 1, 2 in game 2. Now he's playing 1 in game 3.
Yep.
Obviously, it's very good in this matchup.
Very good in this matchup. We didn't see much of the game that I had Baldeep on stream games. I had him twice last weekend in Houston. He didn't play that card as much, but some of that was the matchups he was
Obviously,
getting.
yes.
It wasn't as good a card in those situations. Daring Raid going to clean
Raid.
that up.
Get rid of that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, the one of the things that's really interesting is I've been in a whole event where I have 3 of a card in my deck and I draw it throughout the day, but I never play it because it's in there for a specific either scenario or matchup. And obviously now maybe I should be cut into my sideboard, but those type of cards when they are in the deck and then they come up in the right situation, they feel so good.
Yeah. Sabine Ping answering Poe coming into the board around early here for Baldeep.
Yep.
And trade initiative.
I think that here Geo didn't want to walk into something to kill Sabine, and so
Ooh, the Fleet Lieutenant just
now,
again.
go wide, baby, go wide.
Well, the double Fleet Lieutenants has definitely put Geo in a really good position early. He's got 4 extra damage pushed through, and his board is much wider than it was in game 2.
So here's I'll tell you some crazy stuff. I can see the lethal with Wrecker coming.
Yeah, it's very possible.
So it's one of these, not this turn, maybe next turn, but it's I can see how this turn can set up for lethal. But I could also see how Baldeep, if depending on how he sequences this, can really kind of cripple the board.
Well, this is also a situation you don't want to be in as Baldeep because he's got 3 rebels on the board. So nothing you do can prevent
the rebel
assault.
Yep. Yeah. And
so we're going to go 8 to base here. He is racing.
Yep. And those 3 threes in play, obviously not
going
to die to Poe. Yeah, this is a very interesting play by Baldeep to go to base here and not try to clear the board. But
I think the thought process is at this point you're starting to go. He's gonna swing in with Phantom 2 because if Geo had the answer, he'd already done it.
Of course.
So Baldeep knows he's going to get 5 more in,
yep.
And so now Geo's like, okay, if I 2 hits from the space unit, I have to come up with something.
Yeah. The other thing is that Poe is another thing that's like an X factor. He could just claim and then hit for 8. And that's that obviously also puts you on a bit of a clock. I don't know if Baldeep plays Daring Raid, but 2 damage from hand can end the game pretty easily. Oh, the bombing
run in the ground arena. Goodness, that's going to make a huge mess. Poe's going to survive it.
1 health.
Yeah, and Sabine's going to have only 2 left.
So now this is interesting.
Now I'm curious. If he knew he had the bombing run, why wouldn't you have discarded and done, instead of doing 2 to base, done 2 to Sabine? The bombing run would have cleared the board.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting. It's an interesting thought.
Probably the race. That 2 damage
it's possible.
Could be the difference.
It could be the difference. It's very possible.
I will say, I don't know Baldeep's deck that in depth in terms of what his personal cards are to know what that clock is.
Yeah,
but he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So clearly he's playing.
He played a lot. He played this deck a lot last weekend. He got far with it, and then he's been playing a lot in locals lately. He's pretty happy with it so far.
Yeah. The irony of even that play, sequencing it that way was very interesting, and now creates a very fascinating board state.
Chat pointing out that if he'd done it in the reverse, then Sabine could have traded into Poe. That's actually a good point.
That's true, yes.
That's a good point. I mean, Sabine could still trade into Poe, but if I'm Baldeep, I don't really care. I'm happy with that play.
And the damage is done by
exactly.
the 8.
And I'm realizing now I've actually he did get 1 attack off with one of those Fleet Lieutenants, and I didn't record it. So there we go.
I'm in my deploy turn. Yeah.
And Han hasn't come out yet, right?
Han has not come out yet. This is his flip turn, so we can. Baldeep could really push the damage. Geo could end. Yeah. I would say likely will end the round at 2.
So here's another thing: if Geo had Poe, and he would be stalling, which we can see he doesn't, but Poe would come out and then could kill Han, or put a lot of damage on Han and kill Poe.
Yep.
Indirectly. So there's always some interesting interaction.
Nope, wrong. Should have deployed it. So the blue leader there is going to trade out, clean up the space arena.
Unit, yeah.
There's their action. Will be deployed this one. Sabine goes to base for 3. Geo actually has a lead right now.
So first action.
So, I see. So in other words, Baldeep basically making sure that he went into the round on the initiative.
Yes.
Okay. He took initiative there.
Because if he didn't, Wrecker could come in and then deal 6 to base and clear Poe.
Exactly right. So, yeah. Baldeep choosing the initiative there. That's going to allow him to... He can go straight to base, which is probably the right play. Go 8 to base here and put Geo in check.
And that looks like
what we're doing here with Poe. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Discard that Luke. He's not coming out this
time.
No,
we are not going to get to that point.
We want to end it now.
We are going to ECL out what's probably going to be a Wrecker. I have to believe. No, it's going to be a Poe. He is going to clear the Han. That's going to save him for the moment and use it to clear the board.
And then Sabine's going to kill Poe and then threaten lethal with his Poe in play.
Well, no, he discarded a card with Poe to clean.
Oh, gotcha.
Geo's Poe only had one health remaining, so he just killed it. So there's a smuggled Cassian out of the row.
Who did Poe attack into?
Poe attacked into Han because Han had 6 HP, so he cleared Han.
Yeah, it's game.
He cleared Han, discarded a card to
Baldeep
clear
closed
Poe,
it
and then but the Cassian,
came from the row.
Cassian seals the deal, and
When,
Baldeep goes home with the win.
When Baldeep flipped over that Cassian, I don't know if you've seen, Gio had the look of like, I did not calculate 3 damage
Well,
in my
I
brain.
mean, at the same time, Cassian has. How many times have we seen Cassian close games in that exact situation?
So many.
I mean,
so many.
Usually it's Sabine the one doing that. It's Sabine is the Sabine
popping
player is the one
Cassian
doing it,
because
right?
they're so close.
But in that instance, it's Sabine getting it done. It's almost a little bit of kind of poetic justice there.
Yeah.
Sabine having it done back to her, right?
The irony.
Yeah.
Dramatic irony.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll look round 1 in the books. I apologize, I don't have the round timer up. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get back to I'm going to go get the round timer.